Welcome to Tweet of the Week. I am joined today by Emily Hood, who is a teacher at Walkersville Elementary and who has now also become famous not just for being on Tweet of the Week, but for being part of a podcast about mind-brain education. Thank you for joining me.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
And so, Emily, I know that you were one of the FCPS staff members who participated in a special training that occurred at the Center for Transformative Teaching and Learning. You want to talk a little bit about that experience?
Yes, I'm so glad that you said that first, because that doesn't just roll off your tongue very well, so I've been practicing. This summer I attended the Academy at the Centers for Transformative Teaching and Learning, CTTL, at St. Andrews on mind-brain education, and went through a series of deep dives and looking at what retrieval practice really looks like and how it can help our students, not just in the current situation, but become lifelong learners, and getting to know and understand their brains better, and how my job as a teacher is to get them to understand that and then take more ownership for their learning.
Which is critically important, again, as we think about the 21st century. Information and the knowledge base is expanding so rapidly that learning how to learn and understanding how you learn best are going to be critical skills in the future. And even though you're dealing with second graders, you've been doing something called Wonder Wednesday.
Wonder Wednesday started last year. I came up with the idea of just giving them some time to be mindful, to really take some time to think about what makes them a learner. I think that it's very powerful for kids to have that ability to be mindful and cognitive about what they're doing, what their strengths are. Hugely a fan of the power of yet. So this is my opportunity to get the kids to realize that I may not know everything yet, but with the right strategies in place, I'm going to be able to get there. So I give them a quick little synopsis of, today we're going to learn about this part of the brain and how this part, let's say the amygdala is my emotion center. And when my amygdala is flying, I can't think, I can't problem solve. So what kind of strategies could I put in place to calm down and to get myself centered to be ready to be learning again? And it's been so awesome to see 7-year-olds using these fantastic words. I said something about my neuroplasticity is working today. Yes, you're shaping your brain. It's so cool to see them do that. And then be willing to take a challenge on, a struggle. The rigor of our county's curriculum is fantastic, but for the right learner, it can be very complicated and very complex for them. And in the past, before implementing some of these things, we did see a lot of tears and a lot of frustration. But through things like Wonder Wednesday and learning about our brain, we're able to think about ways to overcome those frustrations and really use that power of struggle to build my capacity as a learner.
And recognizing that that is part of learning. Mm-hmm. And as you indicated, the knowledge we are gaining as educators and scientists about the brain and the role it plays in learning. So I know that the podcast you participated on also took a look at one of your math lessons.
Yeah, they were able to come during our mini math time. Debbie Myers and her crew this summer were able to put together some retrieval practice for each one of the grade levels for math in the elementary level. Quick little 6 problems that goes back to first grade, goes back to what we've done in previous units, and ask the kids to rely on digging things out of their filing cabinet and dusting things off so that they're prepared for what's coming in the future. It's a fantastic way for them to retrieve on their own. I like to implement some collaborative conversation as well, allowing them to talk to a neighbor and share answers and debate whether or not my answer is correct or theirs, so that they're using their vocabulary, they're using some of those soft skills, some people skills. And then we share out as a class and talk about them. And it's a fantastic way to talk about strategy. Math has a tendency in the past to be so black and white. And I love bringing the concept of strategy into my math class so that they know that there's lots of ways to get to the right answer. You have to find what works best for you. So having that collaborative piece during the mini math really helps with that.
Well, it is no surprise to me that you were featured on this podcast because you were doing amazing things using what you've learned about mind-brain education. And if you want to hear more about it, you will be able to find the link to this podcast or follow Emily or Meg Lee on Twitter. They were both tweeting about this as well. So Emily, thank you so much for taking that mind-brain education journey and for bringing so much to your second graders, because the more students that we can have that love math, the better the world will be. Thank you for joining us on Tweet of the Week. We hope to see you next time.